Hello and welcome developers. My name's Shay and this is another episode of Shay Develops. In this episode, we're going to be talking about how to install Git on Windows. This is going to be the very first episode in a series. We're going to be exploring Git in just very kind of short increments and talking about how to do specific things and try to implement that with like real world situations, right? So the very first thing though to get started is to install Git, and this is going to be how to install Git on Windows. If you're using Mac or Linux, you're going to have to do this through the command line, but through with Windows, we have a GUI that runs us through the whole process and tries to get us to download like a whole bunch of other stuff, and really not download, but try a bunch of other stuff in the process. So let's go ahead and you say you want to click and download manually if it hasn't already started, right? So download it now, and I've actually already installed and got Git running on my computer, but I'm going to go ahead and walk through 99% of the process and then testing to make sure that you guys have got it installed properly. So you're going to go to your downloads folder, you're going to open Git and click yes to run it, and you should get this pop up here. It may have changed since the recording of this, but doubtful it's changed too much. Okay, I like to remove the additional icons on the desktop because I basically every time I use Git, I'm either using it through the command line or I am trying to use Git bash, which is the command line interfaces that you can use to use Git as well. So I'll take away the additional icons, but I'll keep the Git bash and Git GUI here. I don't use the GUI per se, but other people may want to, and we'll probably talk about it because a lot of people do use GUI. It can help you like visualize sometimes what's going on with Git if you can't understand, the aspects while you're like typing it in the command line. All right, so just go ahead and besides that, go ahead and hit next. And I use Visual Studio Code as my default editor. You can select whichever one that you use. Like I said, if you don't have one, I suggest using Visual Studio Code. It's free, so that's great, and it works with all kinds of languages. Just everything. It's amazing. All right, so hit next. Usually, back in the day, I don't know, how am I going to put this? Your branch was called master. That was like your very first starting branch. But now, if you're hosting, a lot of these, like say with Heroku, it's expecting the branch to be called main. And some other companies may do this as well. So I went ahead and I like to override my default branch to main. And then go ahead and hit next. But you can leave it at let Git decide if you would want to. And then from here I go recommended, get the recommended command line, also third-party software. Hit next, open the SSL library, Git checkout style, that's fine. Also again, use min tty, go ahead, default, next. Git credential manager core, haven't used this yet, but I'm gonna check it out. So I am personally using the credential manager core. You may not need to. And then enable file system caching. And I'm not going to mess around with the experimental stuff that they got going on at the moment. I might check that out later in another video, but not for now. Go ahead and click install. Wait for just a moment. All right. No reason to launch Git bash or anything. Actually, we can just go ahead and launch Git bash and then hit finish. And now we want to check to see if our machine is working. So I'm going to make this bigger. So to see if Git is actually installed, we can do git -- version, and that'll tell us our Git version 2.32.0.windows.2. Okay, but then we're not quite done. We have one more thing to do. We have to set up our username and email for this Git in the configuration, right? So we can do something like git config -- user.name, and then we're going to put in a space, and then within quotation marks, you're going to put in your name. So maybe like Shay Develops, and I'm going to hit enter. Oh, unknown option user dot name. Oh, I've messed something up. Oh, okay, it's supposed to be -- global user dot. Okay, sorry about that. So instead of -- username, it's -- global user dot name, and then back to the quotation marks. Shay Develops, and hit enter. And then we've got one more. It'll be get config -- global, and I could have just hit like control up and down and whatever and make this work. This will be user.email, and mine is shaydevelops@gmail.com. If you have any questions, want to hit me up, there you go, there's my email, and hit enter. Now we can now do get user.name. Oh no, that's not okay. Is get -- global user.name. I'm messing this all up. Okay, get config -- global user.name, and basically you're done by now, right? I'm just showing you that now you can get the, and I'm actually pointing with my hands, that you can actually get the get config global username right here to give you Shay Develops or whatever your name was, right? So we could also do get config to make sure that our email was in, user.email, and we got shaydevelops@gmail.com, and there you go. You've got get ready to go, installed on your machine globally, so you can use it on your projects as you would like. All right, hope you guys have learned something, and get ready for the next Get Short, where we're going to be talking about setting up basically your first get, or we may go into configuring, because you can configure lots of stuff within get itself. But until then, I'll well, no, that came out great. Until then, you guys take care, and I hope you'll have a great day. Peace.